The time has come, oh yes it has. We are supercharging the Mini.
Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods, proudly supported by Just Car Insurance. Now, Marty, we've turbocharged a few things, haven't we?
We have. We've done forced induction using turbochargers, and we've done chemical supercharging on the Honda.
That's right, and we've also done, we've just done some mad V8 stuff in our Mod Max with no supercharging required, so that's probably a pretty mad idea. But today, it's time to show you guys how to supercharge a car. Now, let's have a quick little chat about superchargers and the difference between superchargers and turbochargers. Now, the main thing that you need to know is that turbochargers run off waste, that is exhaust gas that spinning turbines making boost. Superchargers are running off your engine. And do you know what that means, Martin?
That means you do have some parasitic losses, and how much boost you can create depends on the ratio between your crank and how the supercharger is spinning with. There's lots of different types of superchargers, just like there's lots of different turbos.
That's right. Now, there's pros and cons of each, but a lot of the pros of a supercharger is that it is easier to install than a turbocharger most of the time, depending on your application and what you're doing. But the main thing is we don't need to be tapping into our oil lines and water lines and that kind of stuff. Hopefully we're just going to throw the thing on, but we don't even have one, which is why, Martin, you're being tasked with the most incredibly awesome job of going out there and getting a supercharger for our Mini. So farewell.
Where do I get them from?
England. What? Yes. Off you go. Go and say hello to the Queen.
I'm in England and I'm on a bike.
So I'm off to get these Mini parts. Missed it by 3 minutes, so we wait another 45. Okay, so that's the train done. Now I've got to get a tube. Right, so got a lot of trains. I'm out, I don't know where, in the suburbs of London somewhere, inside the M25, which is the big ring road that runs around the whole city, so not right out in the sticks. And now I need to be picked up by a dude who makes mad Mini superchargers.
This looks like him now.
Hey man, how you going?
My name's Stuart. I'm running VMAX SCART. We're in Molesey in the UK, in England, and I do A-Series supercharger kits. So the supercharger route, it had come out on the BMW Mini. There were quite a few superchargers knocking around, and I was modifying cylinder heads for the BMW Mini. I had a bit of a sort of stack of superchargers, and I just thought, you know, I do quite a lot of classic stuff. Is there enough room to fit it on there? So yeah, 2004. That was the first time I put one on, and it all worked well, and it just went from there. It's the Eaton M45 supercharger off the BMW Mini. So people would take them off for warranty because they didn't like the whining noise, or they'd change it because they were a bit chattery. And yeah, lots of second-hand superchargers about, you know, for not much money. As a factory part, they do have reliability issues on the BMW Mini. Mainly this drive here is for the water pump, and the gears wear out on those and they start chattering. So a lot of these units are taken off cars under warranty, and I'll buy them and just take the water pump gears out because you don't need them on the classic Mini setup. Fairly easy to rebuild if there are any problems with them, and they're under a much lower stress and lower RPM rate on the A-Series conversion that I do. So yeah, this is, here's one I did earlier. This is, so this is the Eaton supercharger. Slightly modified so I can get manifolds to fit on it and fit it under the bonnet. I suppose I was quite well known for turbocharging Minis early on because we had the Metro Turbo in the 80s over here, and then gradually parts started to run out, and then the supercharger came along and it's the same kind of thing, forced induction, same kind of principles, so I just sort of adapted to that really. I think ultimately turbos for bigger power, but if you want drivability and day-to-day use, the supercharger kind of fits that bill. If you want easy power, supercharger's the route to go. I think Moog's going to love this. Gives you really good tractability. It's going to surprise so many big V8s out on the highway.
All right. Well, I'm going to go finish my, continue my public transport adventure.
How are you finding that?
And I've done a lot today. I've done push bike, underground, I've walked,
Yeah.
I've got a train, I've got like a fast train,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to do it all in reverse and then get an aeroplane home.
Swipe left, swipe right, swipe left, swipe left,
Dude,
swipe right.
England's crazy.
Hey dude, have you ever played Fruit Ninja?
Fruit Ninja?
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you swipe fruit?
Swipe, well, like you,
Oh, you smash the watermelon.
yeah.
Dude, England's mad.
Yeah,
It's like
what'd
Australia.
you do?
It's like Australia.
Yes.
Except everyone sounds a little bit different and it's more rainy.
I've heard that they have big teeth, is that true?
Many people have big teeth and,
Really?
and big personalities. They're very big personalities.
Really?
Yeah.
Large personalities over
Yeah,
there, Martin.
they like going to the pub because it's dark at 4 o'clock and nothing else to do.
Why is it that everyone from England puts so much vomit on Bondi Beach, Martin?
I think it's just a rite of passage, isn't it? You have
Is
to
it?
come to Australia and you have to go to Bondi or Manly and get drunk.
From what I understand though, there's a fair share of Australians laying vomit on the pavement of, is it Covent Gardens?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Where Australians like to go and vomit?
There's Australian pubs and stuff. I don't know the ones.
Anyway, Martin, what have you got?
I got your supercharger, dude, from the dude who made it, handmade it.
Dude.
It's a full kit.
Dude, that's awesome.
I don't know what this is for. This is for a beer bong.
Martin, I know who's going to know what this all is.
Yeah.
Our special guest for this series, Miles, also known as Dose Vader from AM Auto. Hey bro, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Now, you may have seen Miles in some of our videos already. He's also known as Dose Vader. He loves things that go choo choo and brum brum. And he's the other half of AM Auto. He's like the brains of Turbo Yoda. Turbo Yoda has the loin, he has the brain.
The
Together-
loin. Do you mean like a leg? Is that what a loin is?
I think a loin is the part between, is it?
My name's Miles. I'm part owner of AM Auto Services on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. My business partner, Alan, also known as Turbo Yoda. We work on performance cars, do mad modifications, do all the fun stuff. We're also a normal garage as well, so we'll do pretty much any work on cars. Minis for my family goes back a long, long way. My dad's very first car was a Mini. My mum's first Mini was shortly after she met my father. My family has had in excess of 30 Minis over the years, including the ones that I've owned. My father got to use one of the original Broadspeed Minis that was raced in Australia by Brian Foley. When I found out that Moog had a Mini, I was ecstatic. I thought that was amazing. Honestly, they are a seriously cool car. It's one of those circumstances where unless you've tried it, you can't judge it. Minis are just amazing. And when I found out I had the opportunity to come down with the boys and do some work on that car, I was ecstatic. The car is extremely low to the ground, even in standard form, very rigid frame for its size, and with wheels on all corners of the car, they just handle amazingly. My father used to always have a saying, many stickers on his cars, it would always say, Minis out corner corners, which is true. Even a standard Mini, you could push extremely hard on any track anywhere and they just stick to the road. They're an amazing little car. I suppose you would judge the level of fun from the car by what the car is. You could drive a 2,000 horsepower car and go, wow, that's awesome. You can drive a 20 horsepower car and wow, that's awesome, because it's what the car is. It's got character about it and it's how it makes you feel when you drive the car. And that's what Mighty Mods is all about. It's about getting out there and having a go at it. This project's going to be quite emotional for me. I have a large family history with this. I'm sure it'll be emotional for Moog as well. He has a family history of these cars in his family. Emotional for me because I got my first Mini when I was 7 years of age. I got a Mini Cooper my father bought for me with my trust fund. He showed me how to work on those cars. I was brought up with cars. He passed away unfortunately when I was 19. So I've been without him for a long time. So anytime I work on a car like this, it is quite emotional for me because it does bring back a lot of memories. If you know someone with a Mini, have a go. If you have the opportunity to drive one, drive one. It's going to be a great time. I get to spend some time with some good mates. I get to work on a car that I absolutely love, and we get to see what it's going to do. It's a tiny little engine, a tiny little car. I think it's going to be just incredible.
The young gentleman that I met over in England, he makes these, and he makes them out of superchargers from the BMW produced Minis.
Oh, the fat ugly Minis.
Yeah, the Minis.
Some of them aren't ugly, some of them are mad.
Some of them are cool.
So wait on, so this,
Yep, and it's
let me get this straight because I'm blowing my wormhole. I'm leaking down both thighs right now.
Yeah.
This is a supercharger from one of the new BMW Minis
Exactly.
that we are going to be fitting on the old A-Series Mini engine.
So it has German efficiency. You alright?
No.
You alright?
No,
In a moment.
I'll just be down here. Continue.
So it's a supercharger of like a new Mini, and it's all like super efficient and nice and whatever. And then he adapts them to work on the old A-Series motor, which is pretty clever. And it fits under the bonnet. That's the important bit.
That is a very important bit.
It fits under the bonnet. You alright?
This is the best thing we've ever done.
Do you know what I can't?
Other than being born.
Do you know what I can't wait? I
What?
can't wait to hear it, man.
Yeah.
I don't care if zero kilowatts. The sound alone.
This is awesome. Let's do it. Let's go. And Dose Vader, thank you so much for coming down with us
you're
to be part of this awesome thing. You've got a long lineage with Minis, which is awesome. We are so lucky to have someone with your experience, expertise, and history with Minis.
There's an aftermarket radiator as well.
Mad.
Part of the kit. Mad.
Yeah, the reading that I've done, people supercharging Minis, one of the kind of concerns they've had is overheating. So,
Well, that's a LA one. It should
look at that.
fit in the same location. If nothing else, I mean, there's lots of arguments about alloy radiators versus copper versus all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's brand new. If it's mounted up properly, it's nice and thick, so the water's got plenty of time and mass to cool down in. It should work good.
Martin, you know the first thing we need to do?
What?
Let's go chuck it on the dyno. So we're going down to Haltech to do a baseline power run.
What do you reckon it's going to make, man?
I don't know, and I'll never know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
We're going to a dyno, dude. That's what you do on a dyno.
I don't want to know. I will not. I refuse to know.
Why?
I don't want to know the numbers. I don't want to look at the numbers. I don't want it. I don't want to have anything to do with the dyno numbers of this car because that's not what this project is about. It's a feel thing, and I know you're looking confused.
No,
and everyone's probably confused because they're like, you go to a dyno, you look at the numbers. I don't want to know the numbers. I don't want to know anything about them because when you get in a car and you're like, oh, dyno, you got 50 kilowatts, you got 200 kilowatts, your car becomes that number. Even if you change it and modify it and stuff later,
Yeah.
you attach that number with your experience. I don't want that. I just want it to be a feel thing. I want to get in and go, wow, this is mad.
So literally using butt dyno more so than scientific dyno.
I just want to be able to go, cool, this is the car stock, these are the mods that were done,
Yeah.
and this is a percentage increase, but I don't want to at the end go, oh, the car has 80 kilowatts or 30 kilowatts. I don't even want to know because we're always doing that. We did it with Super Grants, Miss Daisy, perfect example, right? So it's all about a 1000% increase. So we needed the dyno for that.
Yeah.
But you got to admit, when we did that dyno run and made 23 kilowatts, next time you were in the car, did knowing that the car made 23 kilowatts make your experience different?
Yeah, well, I see what you're saying. Like, it does become more of a scientific sort of, oh, it feels like 23 kilowatts, and check out the power band and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you know what? I suppose you don't really need to know.
No, I don't.
Because the driving experience and the dyno numbers are not always linked anyway. Because a 1,000 horsepower car can be a piece of crap to drive, or it can be amazing, but
absolutely, and it's what I've said before, when we're down at the drags and there's guys down there in STIs that are making 100 kilowatts more at the wheels than Super Grants and running slower quarter mile times.
Yeah.
So those numbers alone do not paint a picture. You know, they don't paint everything that we need to know.
So this is more science to make sure it's working properly, right?
Is it this one?
Next one.
Oops. I'm committed, sorry.
So this is...
This is to make sure, an old guy giving me a little thumbs up, hello, toot toot, they love it. This is to make sure the car works, and then we make sure that the mods we're doing are working, but I don't want to know the final number.
All right.
That's it. I'll do it for other projects. I've done it up till this point, I've done it for everything, so I'm doing something different. I'm just doing some weird things and going, I don't want to know, and it's going to be a feel thing.
Matt.
You can know,
Alright.
so that you can make sure things are happening, but that's it. So good, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really cool.
And soon it's going to be doing that with choo-choo noises.
I can't wait to hear it. It already sounds cool.
Yes!
It's like a symphony.
It's off its face how sticky it is. Can you believe that? Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh?
Off its face balls.
We're down at Haltech to run the little Mini on the dyno. This will give us a comparative baseline and ensure that everything that's currently on the car is working as it should.
I think too much significance is placed onto what number a car makes. And so then what you do is you start realizing that this whole game becomes you versus the computer and what kind of figures come up here. I don't want that.
Because these cars have been around for so long, they've had like 50 years or longer to go, oh, well, the 3.9 diff ratio of the Mini was 1964. Well, that was made a 3.44. And then in 1966, and on it goes. Look at this, eh, man? Look at this.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Oh, wait, I got a graph. No, tables. We like tables. Number low pinion ratio. I give up.
All right, this is it. We are about to do our baseline power run and find out, well, we're not going to find out. Martin's going to find out the secret number. And then when we're back here later on, when it's making mad choo-choo noises, we're going to know how much power we make. That's what it's all about. So let's do this thing. Yes, it's time to do it. Awesome. Mini on a dyno, how good is it? So awesome.
We're going to get the car up to operating temperature and then do a couple of power runs.
Impressive, man.
Did it make something?
It made pretty much what I was expecting. That's great.
Yeah?
That's awesome. Yeah, for a stock car,
Yeah?
stock 1.3,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Have they taken the screen down?
They haven't yet. That's mad. Good one.
Are you actually impressed?
I am actually impressed, yeah. It's pretty much what I thought that capacity would make, but it's like really nice power curve. It all looks good.
All right, good.
Now what do we do?
Now we go and choo-choo it.
We are ready to choo-choo, but we're grabbing a few bits and pieces that are going to help us when we begin the actual install. Next time on Mighty Car Mods.